Okay, I apologize. Something weird was happening with the with my recording software, and it's still happening. Maybe it's when I move my. Okay, so now we're gonna focus on oh, sorry. So something weird was happening with my video software, my recording software, so now I have to finish this. I think we were right here. So just let's pick up right here. So give me the gist to why, or give me the gist as to why someone like Bentham might think the overall happiness and unhappiness for your chosen sacrifice is better than you not making the sacrifice. Okay, so again, incorporate keywords and phrases, so you can say, so to signal, as I was saying, you can say, let's focus on some of the happiness or unhappiness generated by my sacrifice. And then you're going to say some of the happiness is, some of the unhappiness is, blah, blah, blah. Okay, just the gist, and yet be specific enough to where I can tell one outcome versus the other outcome, one consequence versus another consequence, possible, conceivable consequence, or consequence that you already know about. And then this is going to be related to the last set of notes that you took from week 10, where I am showing you the different possible mathematical scenarios. So remember, I was giving you the gist. Like, imagine that you use the T-charts and you decide that you have 1,000 points of happiness for option 1 and 500 points for unhappiness. I'm not saying you have to say points, but you do have to say about something about, option 1 generating a lot more happiness than unhappiness compared to, option 2, that yes, maybe it will generate some happiness, but the unhappiness generated will be a lot more. Now, I'm not saying you have to argue that it's going to go just like that. There's different ways that a utilitarian might argue for the conclusion I'm telling you to argue for, but I'm telling you that you just have to give me the gist. You're not actually going to be assigning points to anything. You don't actually have to add and subtract. I just kind of want you to do like a general mathematical type, gisty type thinking. And again, I started to show you how to do that. So you can still use phrases like, I think there would be more happiness or unhappiness for this option and this option, but I think the happiness generated by this option would not outweigh the unhappiness generated by that option. And then don't forget that not only do you have to talk about the ratio of happiness to unhappiness, even in just general, like saying more or less without a specific number, you have to talk about that for each possible course of action. But then I need another claim about the balance of happiness over unhappiness being better for one action compared to the other action or option. So that's what this is getting at. And so again, you can use words and phrases in here to signal that you are now dealing with this part of applying the theory. And so right here, this is really helping you in answering and dealing with these questions. This really helps you to make sure that you're applying the theory and the way that Bentham would use it to reason to his conclusion. So don't skip any of this stuff. How exactly does all of this connect back to the principle of utility? So you've done all this, and I lectured on this. Well, what does the principle of utility say? Does this show that you have, met the requirements of applying the key concepts in the principle of utility? And then why are you doing this? I have this question here too, so that you can close the loop, a little bow tie. What did I tell you to argue for, right? So how do these two, basically, you want to say something about these two coming together, this and this, right? Applying the method via the principle of utility, what were being used to what? To argue for that conclusion. Okay, so that's all I have to say.